Hey, hi everyone. My name is Jerry Wise, and today I want to talk about absolutely normal and healthy behaviors that trigger narcissistic parents. I want to mention that overcoming these struggles that we have with narcissistic families, I have a program listed below. I hope you'll take a look at that and check that out. It's listed in the description below. So, I want to first talk about what is self-differentiation, because the road to self is about self-differentiation. And I think that's one of the best ways to overcome trauma, healing, recovery from narcissistic abuse and dysfunctional families. Self-differentiation is a skill and process of asserting your needs, preferences, and boundaries despite strong pressure to conform to the harmful norms, expectations, demands, and behaviors of your family and any relationship. And that's what I teach and train. Today, I want to talk about normal things that trigger narcissistic parents. First of all, when you don't comply to their system's feelings. Well, what are systems feelings? Systems feelings are feelings that operate to keep the system going, the relationship system going. They're not necessarily based on reality. For example, how many times has your parents said, "Oh, I'm just so hurt"? Do you think you really hurt them? Or are they feeling hurt so that you will behave or respond in a certain way? That's a systems feeling. How many times have we, again, been accused of doing something wrong or offending them in some way, and we did nothing to offend them? Absolutely nothing. And I'm going to give you some examples. So their offense is a systems feeling, not a true feeling. I'm not saying they don't feel it. They may feel it, but that just because you feel it doesn't make it your own true feeling. It could be a feeling produced by the system, by the relationship, for you to comply in some way or do something. For example, somebody gives you advice. Your dad gives you some advice. And we say, "Well, Dad, I just don't think that would be the best for me, Dad." And Dad says, "Well, I don't know why you would say that. That hurts me." Is that true feelings or systems feelings? Are they feelings to get you to do something or to change or to accept something you don't want to accept? Or has Dad really been offended? If you notice, you haven't said anything that is offensive. I just don't think that would be the best for me, Dad. So I think I'm going to choose this. That's not a personal attack on someone. Why would they feel hurt? Because the system has always been programmed and learned to be that way. And so then system feelings come up. "Oh, I feel so hurt," to get you to get on board with what Dad wants you to believe, wants you to know, or wants you to accept. So we don't want to comply with systems feelings, because when we don't comply, they're going to be triggered. And often when we get triggered, it's about systems feelings rather than true or real feelings when we are triggered. I'm not saying we don't have true feelings. Hurt, sadness, grief, aloneness, fear. There are true feelings. I think we take every feeling as being equal. They're not. They have different functions that they play. I talk about more of that in the program. Secondly, when you change your emotional location, I've been talking a little bit more about emotional location because I think it's so important. One of the easiest ways to change an emotional location in a family system is to stop reacting and become more calm. You're going to change your emotional piece in the puzzle of the family, and you're going to change your location. Changing emotional location can do a lot to heal us. Sometimes even instantaneously. I'm not overpromising. It doesn't mean recovery and healing just happens in an instant. But there are many times that once I have made that shift and gotten out of that position, I see the world completely different. and I even feel it differently. So changing emotional location will trigger them. A narcissistic mom may say, I don't know why your sister is still dating that loser of a boyfriend, she tells you. We then answer, well, sounds like something you should discuss with her, Mom. And of course, she goes berserk. Well, I was just trying to tell you that I was worried about your sister and da da da. I don't know. I just feel angry with you for saying that. Is her anger true anger? Have you done anything to anger her? Not really. She's gotten angry to get you to get back in line. Get back into your emotional location where you belong. Listen to me. Agree with me about your sister. Stay in that emotional and mental location. And so from being in a triangle, like what Mom was doing, to detriangle and detriangulate is shifting emotional locations. There are many other ways to change this location, and I discuss those in the program below. Number 3, you can trigger narcissistic parents when you have become self-focused. And again, that's healthy, that's normal. When you become self-focused versus other-focused, it triggers them. You are always supposed to be in the emotional location, and I'll use that phrase, but you're always supposed to be focusing on them, their inner dialogue, their feelings, their way of thinking. You're not supposed to be thinking about yours and how you feel, what your beliefs are, what your feelings are. That you're supposed to ignore all that. And if you start not ignoring all that, that's going to trigger them. If you want them out of your head, if you want the narcissist or the narcissistic parent out of your head, stay out of theirs. And I think that's very, very important. Let me repeat that. If you want the narcissist out of your head, stay out of theirs. I'll talk more about that. Stop trying to understand them. Stop trying to react to them. Stop trying to argue with them and argue with them about their reality. That's you being in their head and in their inner dialogue and in their, it's not going to go anywhere and it's not going to work. Number 4, when you have solid inner boundaries, it will trigger narcissistic parents. When you have solid inner boundaries, such as learning detachment, and learning inner detachment feels like these types of things. And your point is, you've heard that before, I'm sure. You may have even used that. When we're able to say that or even say it internally, we have more detachment. We are not as worried about what they're saying is not impacting us as much. Well, Jerry, you're awful. You're a terrible person. You're ugly. You're dumb. And your point is, that means I don't care about, I'm not sure why you're telling me all that because it doesn't make any sense. So, and your point is, so we want to get to a place where we feel, and your point is, another thing we want to get to is, so what? That so what feeling. I'm just trying to describe what detachment can feel like. It's like, well, so what? Well, I don't know if I just don't know that I can love a child who would treat me this way. Well, so what? I mean, okay, you can't, then, but I guess so what? I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Well, of course, what it's supposed to mean is I'm going to say this hurtful thing, and I'm going to say what I feel is hurting me, so you will change and change back, so that I will have you back in the spot you were in. Someone will occasionally accuse me of being victim shaming. And it's so funny because I just go, this is so foreign to me. And I really kind of think, I don't even know what they're talking about if I'm victim shaming. I know what victim shaming is. Do you know how many times I've been a victim? Do you know what I've been through? You don't even know what I've been through. I've shared a few things on the videos, but I could share you a whole lot more. I know what it feels to be a victim. And I just, victim shaming? I'm going to make fun of somebody for being a victim or being victimized by a narcissist or abuser? I'm going, I don't even know what you're talking about. Maybe I did misspeak something. Maybe it's possible, but I just know that's not me. So, I'm not sure what to do about that. So again, it's thinking about having solid inner boundaries, and having healthy inner boundaries feels like we have a filter or a scrubber for both complaints and compliments. And I have a scrubber out here that whatever comes in gets scrubbed, it gets filtered. I don't care if it's a wonderful thing or an awful thing. It's got to go through the scrubber, because why would I take it directly in? I don't need to do that. And when someone gives me a compliment and I feel it's genuine and it's caring and it's not used to manipulate, I'm very grateful and I take that in. When someone tells me that I'm crazy, then I go, well, I suppose I am crazy in some ways, but I'm not crazy in the way you're talking about, because it doesn't go through my filter well. Number 5, when you become non-reactive to them. When we become non-reactive to our narcissistic parents, that will trigger them, because it's a combination of inner boundaries and changing our emotional location. And they feel all of that. That's all felt for them. And then they get triggered, because you can tell when someone's changed. You go tell somebody who wants to triangulate you with someone else and tell them, oh, I think it would be best if you maybe talk to Bill about that. They know immediately you're doing something different. Why are you talking to me that way? They already know there's something's up, because otherwise we would always just be doing this gossiping, and we would just keep the triangles going, in which people just stay unhealthy, and people carry around extra stress that they don't need. Staying calm is very important. Being non-reactive, staying calm, it reduces the enmeshment to anyone if you can stay calm. Even just trying to stay calmer can be more helpful. Try it. If you want to learn much more, I hope you'll join the program, The Road to Self. Check it out below. There's more explanations, tools, practice helps. I want to thank you for watching today. Please like, please subscribe, please comment. I read your comments. And again, thank you for joining me today. Have a great day and be wise.